How to know God is speaking to you? The voice of God is very distinct among every other voices because it is God that eventually created us. When he created us, he put his own spirit in us. He let us create man in our own image and in our own likeness. That's Genesis 1 verse 26. So when God is speaking to you, there is a witness your spirit will bear with your own spirit, because God is actually talking to you through his spirit, and this his spirit actually has a connection with your own spirit. So when God is speaking to you, there is this witness you will have within you that is God that is speaking to you. When King Nebuchadnezzar eventually threw Shadrach, Meshach and Abednego in the furnace of fire, the Bible said there was a fourth man in their midst, and Nebuchadnezzar looked closely and he saw the fourth man and he knew that this was the Lord, the God. How does he know? Because the spirit of God is already in him while God created us. So the spirit eventually bear a witness with his own spirit that is God. For you to know that God is speaking to you, your own spirit will definitely bear witness with the spirit of God that God is the one speaking to you, and the voice of God is very distinct. If you want to know the voice of God and identify the voice of God, the voice of God is very distinct from every other voices. You don't struggle to identify the voice of God because it comes in a still small voice and it bear witness with your own spirit. Don't struggle with the voice of God because the voice of God comes in a distinct way and in a special way for you to identify it and know his voice. Let me tell you, the voice of God comes with truth and light. So when you hear the voice of God, your own spirit will bear witness with that voice, because there is a spirit of truth and light in you. Because when God created us, he imparted us with his own spirit so that we can have a fellowship and a connection with him. So if you hear the voice of God, the spirit of God in you will bear witness with the voice that you are hearing or you are listening to. So you will not even struggle to know if it's God that is speaking to you. The essence a lot of believers or many persons struggle to identify the voice of God or know if it's God that is speaking to them, because they tend to start doubting and start using their own reasoning without paying attention to what their spirit is eventually telling them. So it is that spirit that will eventually bear witness with your own spirit and with the voice that you are hearing. So don't struggle with the voice of God, because the voice of God is very distinct among every other voices. There is no voice that can sound like the voice of God, and there is no voice that can come as the truth and the light of God. Say even if the voice of Satan or Satan disguised as God comes, it will not be as the voice of God, because your spirit will not bear witness with those voices that you are hearing. That is the essence. Apostle Paul, when he was ministering to the Ephesians, and he told them, he said, test all spirit to see if they have the Lord, because there is actually the God spirit in us that will bear witness with everything that we are saying, that we are hearing. And if our spirit that God has imparted in us does not bear witness with what we are hearing or what we are saying, then that is not the voice of God. Just look at the unbelievers. All the unbelievers that have an encounter with God, they were able to distinct that this is God that is eventually speaking to them. Why? Because the voice of God is actually different and distinct from every other voices they have been hearing. So don't be afraid. The voice of God will eventually bear witness with your spirit to know that it is God that is speaking to you or ministering to you. How does Pharaoh knew in the dream that it was God that was speaking to him? Why? Because the voice of God will eventually distinct from every other voices. So the voice of God will eventually bear witness with your own spirit, because there is a connection of fellowship and relationship connecting between you and God's spirit. Don't forget, in John 4 verse 24, the Bible says God is a spirit, and those that will worship me must worship him in truth and in spirit. So the voice of God comes in truth and with light. That light is the spirit, because the spirit of God travel through the the rays of light. It comes with knowledge. When it comes, it's very distinct from every other voices, and you will be able to know that it is God that is speaking to you and that is talking to you. So the voice of God is very distinct among every other voices, and when it comes, it will eventually bear witness with your own spirits. If you are blessed by this video, please like this video and follow me in order for you to receive a video like this anytime I give a post. Thank you, and God bless you.